The most important thing in a trainer's or a coach's mind is to have a framework which can make them a successful trainer. That's what I've realized with my 10 years of full-time training and coaching industry experience. And believe me, there are these frameworks which are available in the market, but they are very complex in nature. And to me, the most simplest framework which we have developed at Indian Leadership Academy, it's an acronym which is called the Rainbow Model. The Rainbow Model, which has 7 elements. And let me explain all these 7 elements, and you will see towards the end of the video that it is so simple. If you follow it, you can be a successful trainer and a coach. So the first element is the element R in the Rainbow Model. R stands for reason. What exactly is your reason? What exactly is your intent to be a great trainer, to be there in this training industry or coaching industry? And you cannot just say that I want to help people. Helping people is just being human. And we trainers and coaches are expected to be superhumans. So what's that strong intent? What's that strong reason which is enabling you to get into this industry is most important. There can be reasons like, I wanted to make sure I create more female founders in the country. I want to make sure I spread a leadership culture or a coaching culture in the country where everyone gives a lot of importance to learning. I want to work on equality. There can be anything for that reason, but the most important thing is reason. Now, when you have a strong reason, the second element is very important, which is you doing an assessment of yourself. Doing an assessment of yourself when you are starting yourself and periodically in your training and coaching journey can be a recipe for success. When I say assessment can be on your hidden talents, your hidden things, assessment in terms of what you're doing good. You can be great in terms of audience connect, but maybe not so good when it comes to content development. So making sure these assessments are done by mentors, by organizations who have more experience than you can be the second step in terms of you being a successful trainer. Now comes the third one, which is I in the rainbow, and that's identity. How do I make sure after a strong reason, after I do my assessment, create an identity, create a specialization? In our coaching industry, we call it niche or niche, however you pronounce it. How do I create my niche? And in order to create this niche or specialization or identity, you have to work with people to see what exactly you like. You cannot have multiple identities in this industry by saying I'm a communication skills trainer, I'm a leadership coach, I'm a wellness trainer, and I am also a stress management or an emotional intelligence trainer. You cannot have multiple things in you. People would not believe you, because it's like an engineer saying I'm a civil engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm also an IT engineer. So believe me, that's one thing where you can specialize, can be your starting point, and maybe later you can create a secondary offering of yours. So a primary and a secondary niche can help you to get started, to scale up in this industry. For me, I took leadership to start with when I started 10 years before. And then the second thing I started is wellness as a secondary. So all I'm saying is an identity, a specialization can make you a great trainer. Now comes the N element. How many of you are ready? Guess. What do you think can be N, by the way? I know you're guessing. N stands for nurturing yourself. N stands for nurture. How do I nurture myself? What certifications should I do? What courses should I do? There are plenty of courses. Unfortunately, there are plenty of webinars happening, but which one should I do? Which can be tied up with my niche, which can be based on what is my reason. And that can be a game changer, right? So nurturing yourself is very, very important. And I'm sure if you talk to your mentors, they will guide you in terms of what are the courses you should do. And remember, you should plan it in such a way that every quarter you do something for yourself. And that way you can always be on the track in terms of wisdom, which is very important as a trainer and a coach. Now comes the most special element in the rainbow, which is element B. And B stands for branding. How do I brand myself in digital platforms? In today's world, 90% of your branding is digital. How do I brand myself in platforms like LinkedIn or Insta or YouTube? What videos should I do? What blogs should I do? How do I even get started? What are the topics I should talk about? Of course, AI can help you a lot in terms of your branding. Branding is key. And this is where a lot of people ask me, should I nurture first or should I brand first? To me, branding is a parallel activity and you should do it. And by the way, when I have worked in the US, UK, I have realized that people sometimes they know this and they say this. And back in India or in an Asian country, I have seen people know this and people say this. To me, both are over exaggeration. Both should be avoided. So whatever you know, whatever you do, say it. That's your branding. Now comes the other two elements. You would have guessed it. After branding comes opportunities, opportunities, opportunities. How do I get my clients is the most important thing. And believe me, there are a lot of these platforms which can tell you what are the top companies, who are the top coaches in a country, and you can definitely reach out to them and create these opportunities for yourself. When you join standard programs like Train the Trainer or an ICF certified coach programs, we also have that. This is a module where people share, or the trainers or facilitators share, how can you create those opportunities easily for yourself. So opportunities is the most important. Remember, opportunities will not come to you. You have to go to the opportunities. Last one in the rainbow, element W. Most of you would have guessed it. Element W stands for wisdom. While nurturing is all about the depth based on your identity or specialization or niche, wisdom is all about your breadth. How do I learn things like AI? How do I learn what others are doing? I would also suggest a website called trainingindustry.com where there's a lot of variety of topics. Remember, we trainers and coaches are supposed to be lifelong learners. Only when you are a lifelong learner, you can sustain in this industry. So wisdom is the last element, which is very, very key for you to be a successful trainer. So I hope you will remember this acronym RAINBOW and make sure that you are a successful trainer.